What up, everybody? This is Gaming God, and we are reacting to the Super Smash Bros. Online Open. And it is week 3, and we are gonna have fun watching this on Father's Day, and it's gonna be exciting. And there's also an event called the Splatoon 2 Finals, and it is gonna be fun watching it also. And let's get to it. Alright, so these are the new players. Their names are Tipster, and I didn't finish reading those names. Alright.
Vicky, it's been really interesting over the
Let's
last couple of
have
weeks.
fun watching this match.
Counter picks and fighter selection and fighter changes, but today all 4 of our players really stick with their main through thick and thin. They're with them till they're old and wrinkly and loving each other through those long days. What do you say about fighter specialization?
Well, we've been seeing thus far, at least for this bracket, what stands out for these players is that these are character specialists. We've been seeing these players stick with the one character throughout the entire bracket.
Alright, the match is starting. So
it's
Tipster versus Nessboy12.
No surprise here, sticking to the Ness that he's been repping throughout the entire bracket. And then Tipster, on the other hand, repping the Mega Man. And this is one of those matchups where it's going to be a little tricky. You know, you have Mega Man that relies mostly on projectiles, and starting off on a map like Lilat, you're going to have that gravitational pull from Nessboy to be able to counteract against Tipster, but also keep him up in the air against these platforms.
Very well said. And EE, we know that Ness is a character that really wants to get you in the air, all sorts of aerial mobility in those disjointed hitboxes, especially on those aerials that they throw out.
Oh, absolutely. I think one thing about Ness, too, that's underrated is the fact that he can really get in there and rush you down. Like, I've been in playing situations where I've seen
Mega Man...
Ness just
No, I hope Ness
out.
falls into that bomb.
It's so hard to bring it back. I mean, you're kind of seeing that put on display right now. Nessboy up about 40% and not looking to slow down, but Tipster starting to pick up some momentum. Just as I compliment Nessboy, like, they love proving me wrong right from the start.
Tipster and Nessboy pretty even on this first stock here. And Vicky, a lot of people will look at Mega Man and say that's a zoning character, but you got to find the right zone. And somewhat of a zoning character, as we
dang, Tipster took Nessboy to the sky.
The top and an early one stock advantage for Tipster, Vicky.
Yeah, definitely have to be careful jumping out of that up air, because, you know, if you find yourself jumping, you can actually see yourself getting set a lot higher towards the blast zone. And something as Mega Man, you have to be wary of just not only because of the side magnet being starting out in frame 7, but the fact that you do have a back air to help you out as a shield. As Mega Man, believe that back air is frame 4, so at that I could at least contest the frame 7 side magnet that could come out to contest your projectiles.
Yeah, and EE, Mega Man has such a great tool in that leaf shield and that disadvantage state. We're going to see that come out quite a bit when Mega Man's trying to land, because a bigger, heavier character, surprisingly, Mega Man can be some combo food sometimes.
Yeah, and, you know, but I think that, you know, you mentioned his weight right there. That sometimes can be a saving grace.
Oh, dang.
But even
that was cool.
Will fall prey to a well-placed Ness back air, which has just gotten an incredible amount of knockback behind him.
Tipster with a 62% vitality advantage in this second stock at this point, and right now neither fighter really dominating things. As you said, Vicky, it's about Tipster using that Mega Man to sort of keep Ness away from being able to rush down Mega Man and get in their face.
Yeah, and you see Tipster being able to maneuver himself around these platforms on purpose, being able to use the momentum from using these V reverses as well as his leaf shield to act as like a second shield for him, as it says in the name. But he just have to land against Nessboy, which Ness does have that rather large up air to try to contest you from getting back, and as kind of like an anti-air too.
Bat him away, Nessboy.
Calling out the jump from Tipster right there.
And you see Nessboy using that force smash.
Dang.
Nessboy turning the
nice one, Nessboy.
At this point, taking full momentum of this match, and you pointed it out, EE. Ness has got some tools to be a rush-down character to quickly change all the momentum.
No doubt about it. Swung it back in his favor, closed out the stock nicely with the back air at that. So this is really where Nessboy has... I
believe Nessboy is going to win this round.
It's like he kind of got off that...
Oh, get that bomb off you.
But Tipster credit that he was able to weather that storm. Now is an opportunity. You want to get it. You want to tag on at least 50-60% and really solidify this lead and not let it get away from you.
So far, Tipster doing a fine job of trying to pull the comeback on this third and final stock. Nessboy looking to get a little bit of an advantage to really race out to a lead in this last stock. And Vicky, what tools does Nessboy
a tiebreaker
for this final stock? Nicely done with the back air from Mega Man. What tools does Nessboy have to have the chance to rush down against Tipster in this zoning?
Well, you saw a few times right there, actually, when he had the stock lead, that he was trying to fish for a grab, because at early percents, Ness could actually go for the grab into the double forward air, and if you continuously hold in, you are going to get caught with the string of those forward airs, and that racks up a lot of percent, as Ness is hit pretty hard if you're not very careful, especially with PK fires. But right now, we basically have an even out stock, where Tipster's been playing a lot more patiently, as he's forced to at the same time. As you already mentioned, Jordan, Mega Man being one of those projectile-based characters, he constantly wants to keep you out of his personal space.
Mega Man missing with the forward air, and then Ness able to get the grab into the up throw, and this is what we're seeing here. Tipster has
kick him out the ring.
It seems like whenever Tipster makes a mistake, Nessboy is there to take advantage of it.
Absolutely. I feel like Tipster's like caught between like, okay, I want to just try
Dang.
and close the gap,
That was like close.
Back and, you know, understand I have plenty of time on the clock. I don't need to rush anything. And those times where he gets a little antsy, it can cost him to get that damage up there. But he is in prime position to maybe snatch this one back again.
Oh! I thought Nessboy was gonna win.
I wish I could get a shape of that clean, Jordan.
Tipster gets 1 point.
You look pretty clean to me right there, But Vicky, what we saw in the final 15 seconds of that game, we saw Nessboy really misplay that crash bomber that got attached to them, and that sent them in that disadvantaged state. And then all of a sudden, we saw Tipster able to close things out with the combination of edge guarding and ledge trapping to take this first game.
Yeah, you saw the side magnet come out, so he wanted to actually absorb it so that way he'd heal for a little bit of percent right there, but unfortunately he had mistimed it, so Tipster, taking full advantage of that, utilized Mega Man's back air that not only comes out so quickly, but he also waited for the jump in. He saw that Nessboy didn't have a jump in that situation, so there was only one way you have to go. It's either you air dodge towards ledge, or you're just going to DI into the stage, and Tipster took full advantage of that situation.
Yeah, and
all right, round
two.
2.
Like Mega Man, a fighter like that, they have so many tools to really control the stage. And if you're Ness and you get off stage,
and it's in the same stage.
Recovery, it's really hard to get back in control.
It is. I think one thing that Ness actually online kind of hangs his hat on is the fact that sometimes you don't necessarily want to commit when it comes to trying to edge guard him as hard. Just knowing that one mistake, one flub could result in you losing your own stock. So I think sometimes people second guess that, and maybe that's what causes Ness to, perform even greater online. But at the same time, I think Tipster's just being real cautious and picking his spots where he needs.
Early on, both fighters rather even on this first stock. And Vicky, it seems like the key for Nessboy is how do you get through this flurry of projectiles and options that Tipster has to break up the neutral so that you can get up close and rack up some of those combos that Ness is so capable of doing.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a little unfortunate that we had to go to Lilat again for Nessboy, because, the chances of that happening, I mean, we have the stage set list, and it's all set to random. With a plethora of stages to choose from, now going to Lilat twice, it's like, now Tipster still can take advantage of these platforms, and you can see that Tipster has been able to call out the jump-ins from Nessboy, because he does want to jump on these platforms, and, using the side magnet hit right there to actually prop up Tipster and set him off stage, and this is actually one of the first times that you see Nessboy with the stage advantage, but now Tipster reversing the situation, using that flare to set them off stage.
And that PK fire sets up so many things for Nessboy, but we haven't seen that connect too many times because that range just can't compete with the range that Tipster and Mega Man.
Bomb him.
Absolutely. It's one thing, like, it kind of sucks too, because it's one of Ness's best options, his best tools, and some characters it feels like they can almost like invalidate it, make it kind of useless. So you don't want to throw it out there too often, because then you start to get predictable, especially at percentage like this. Look at that 158 this stock so far all time, and Mega Man.
Oh yeah, into the sky.
I can't wait behind.
Yeah, and Vicky, you see those pellets coming out from Mega Man. It's like when I feed my little man some goldfish. It just keeps them busy, keeps them occupied at this point, and that's enough to really throw off the rhythm and just Nessboy. But yet another forward smash that has been
home run
effective for Nessboy in this first game.
Hey, batter. I mean, he called up the jump Nessboy being able to try to even up the stocks at least, but taking a lot of percent, and with the parry, he wasn't able to really get much off of it, at least from Tipster's point of view, but being able to utilize that leash shield we've seen a few times where anytime Nessboy even wants to try to use these platforms to his own advantage to try to approach Tipster, these leash shields have been there to kind of cut him short, and something that we actually have only seen once from Nessboy, getting the jab lock into the PK fire, side magnet. Okay, Nessboy putting on quite a little bit of a show here, telling us, he's not out of the game yet, despite Tipster having this game lead over him.
Well,
Oh.
off the ledge in the edge trap.
Looks like Nessboy is getting revenge after losing the first round.
Easily called that out, predicting. He's like, okay, I know how your recovery works, so why not put something there that's going to just disrupt it? That was beautiful.
But this is a similar situation to last game. Nessboy with the one stock advantage, but Tipster being very efficient with that third stock, not to take any damage so that things would be even going into that final stock. But this time, Nessboy ain't messing around, racking up 50%. Huge advantage here, Vicky, and this is where you want to be if you're Nessboy, giving yourself the...
Oh, now we have a tiebreaker. Let's see who's going to win, either Tipster or Nessboy.
Right there. And the follow-up's now coming from Tipster. Nessboy has been putting on quite a flashy show this game, too, kind of displaying, you know, he's got these reverse side magnets to at least get the single hit into these follow-ups. But something I was noting earlier is that Nessboy had one time, he was utilizing the yo-yo's constant hitbox by the legend on a stage like Lilac that's actually very useful, especially against Mega Man's recovery, where sometimes he could find himself susceptible from getting past the ledge a little bit, but, you know, Tipster hasn't been put in that disadvantage state just yet.
See the grab into the throw. Nessboy still with a slight advantage in the third and final stock, but it's been back and forth on this final stock here at EE, and this is where Tipster won the last
Oh, he's
game.
gonna get bombed.
Nessboy off the map, and once again, similar situation.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, like, could we see a case of deja vu and how this actually ends? Maybe this time, however, on the left side could result in the victory for Tipster. Got to play this one pretty close to the chest. Obviously, he's done an excellent job of making up the percentage deficit. And if you're Nessboy, you got to start thinking, like, okay, am I really going to allow this one to slip away again? It's one of those things that starts to get in your head, and it can make you a little nervous down the stretch.
Tipster trying to use some of those metal blades to create follow-up opportunities.
Launch him out. Launch him out.
Since Nessboy off the map, Nessboy at 126, and Vicky, this is where you got to be so careful if you're Nessboy.
Yeah, you see Nessboy is also just utilizing his own projectiles, the PK fire, not trying to saw the perfect opportunity, but the
that was, oh my gosh.
Because Nessboy follows up with a crisp
That was a close one, and then
he
took him out.
You have to love how Nessboy did such a fine job being patient, waiting for that.
All right, looks like we have round 3.
To lead into that up smash followed by the up air to close things out.
Yeah, I think Tipster was thinking the elite shield was a little safer than it actually was in that situation. He kind of called a break, not dying immediately to the up smash, but as Vicky said, a well-placed up air to finish off that stock was all he needed. Just keeping the pressure on was just huge for Nessboy to force this game 3.
And you mentioned that pressure, but Vicky, it seemed like Nessboy was a little bit more judicious about when they would approach Tipster. They weren't just necessarily going in; they were trying to find those openings between the metal blades, between the crash, between the leaf shield.
Round 3. Let's see who's gonna win this.
Create those opportunities to be a little bit more aggressive that last game.
Yeah, I feel like Nessboy right there was also able to kind of get into the mind of Tipster just because of the way he's been able to use these follow-ups, as you see right here already with a beautiful display to the start of this last matchup between these two. Now Tipster utilizing the fairs to try to contest Nessboy, but despite that, Nessboy really has a percent lead.
Early on, both fighters pretty square as we get set for this first stock, and as we mentioned, that forward air coming out.
Oh, dang!
The PK Thunder.
Dang.
When it matters the most.
That was crazy.
You think you have enough time to get in there and hit Ness, punish him, whether he's on stage or off stage, and it's so deceiving. And what a start for Nessboy. He has everything going his way. Tremendous lead. Oh, and by the way,
that was an awesome start for Nessboy.
Pressure here on what he can do on some other stages.
Oh my gosh! That PK Thunder thing? That move was sick.
On, and Vicky, that's really the first early KO we've seen in these last 2 games. Both fighters have had to play a very patient game.
Yeah, honestly, the follow from what EE said, it's a little deceiving when you feel like you could punish, Nessboy in the startup of that PK Thunder, but the moment that PK Thunder connects with Ness himself, that's a free wood startup, and it's going to be extremely tricky to try to contest that at that point. You just have to go for the respect, but Tipster now down an entire stock, and already nearly at the end of his second stock, he has a big to go, Jordan.
It is all Nessboy in this third and deciding game to see who advances in the winner's bracket. It's Nessboy.
Oh, poor Nessboy. He fell to the death. He fell to his death.
This is when you can't really take your foot off the gas if you're Nessboy.
Come on. Do the same thing you did in the beginning.
Because to Tipster's credit, he has shown, in that past match, in that opener, that he can mount the comeback when given the opportunity.
Oh, Tipster fell to his death.
That's going to wrap things up with the JV3. very dominant performance for Nessboy.
Ness is the winner.
Nessboy12 moving along, and Vicky, this is where a map and a stage can make a huge difference because we saw that change of the PK Thunders being able to utilize those with just a little bit more real estate in that game, and we saw Nessboy12 just take off with that game because of just a difference in the architecture.
Yeah, I felt like he was also just feeling himself. He felt very confident already with the start of the game. He opened up with an explosive combo, and not just that, he was like, all right, finally.
I thought this was going to end with a sick move from
He didn't feel like he had to overcome
Nessboy.
it at the same time, because when it comes to Ness's recovery, especially by the lip of Lilat, you could find yourself getting susceptible to actually getting clipped by the ledge and actually not being able to get onto the ledge yourself and grab onto it, and you could find yourself SDing, actually.
Let's take a look at the updated bracket after we get done with our first match here, the finals for regions 1 and 2.
Alright, I'm gonna
Nessboy12 moving along
stop
to
the camera and then
winners
film
final
the
and
next
take care of
video.
business against Tipster. Up next will be the winner.